I just recorded a video and it was over 20 minutes and I'm not going to post it. That is what is happening. And that is because it took me 15 minutes to get to what I wanted to do. And also, I promised people in my last keto video that I would share what was around my neck, and I never did. So let me just start there before I get distracted and forget again. But look, it's a goat hood. I love goats, and I love this goat hood. I got it for a Hanukkah gift, and my hair's all over. But anyway, it's a goat hood, and it's got ears. It's awesome. Love this goat hood, and it keeps me really warm. In fact, I took it off because my face went woo red. Anyway, no, it's probably, my hair is probably going to be crazy. So let me try to get to the point I was trying to make and didn't get to for 15 minutes in my last video. Which is the interesting thing. I rarely talk about keto on Facebook, although I post tons on Facebook. People will tell you I give good Facebook. But I don't talk about my diet on Facebook. I have posted an article on keto, and I asked people not to like debate it or add cautionary wisdom or, you know, caring thoughts to the article that I just wanted to share it. And I did that because, you know, you don't ask for advice, you even share things that work for you, and people still give you advice. Or caring people give you caring advice and caution you about things. And God knows there's plenty to caution about with keto. You know, people talk about, you know, high fat and how scary that is for cholesterol and all that kind of crap, and God forbid you should tell them that your cholesterol is actually much lower, that your blood pressure is lower, because then it's just because you've lost weight, and your cholesterol and your blood pressure reflects that, and that may be true. But, you know, there's nothing you can say even logically to someone who is not ready to hear it. And I think that is reasonable, actually, because certainly you can find statistics to back up just about anything. So why shouldn't that be true of anything logical? I don't know. My point is, do I have a point? Oh, so I did share this article about keto and then asked people not to really discuss it because it would annoy me on my Facebook page. And one person did share it, and she asked, she's like, what do you folks think of this? I think it was either about keto or low carb, high fat. Doesn't really matter. And this, somebody responded that it was really just about calories, and this was just another reconfiguration of low calorie diet, and meh. And on the one hand, I believe that is totally true. I think all of my weight loss, I've lost 110 pounds in the last, probably not quite a year. I think it's hard to know. Like, I started March 3rd at 303 pounds. That's easy to remember. Started to get into keto, and I've made progressive improvements on my keto diet as things have gone along, and I've added intermittent fasting and all kinds of things. So I wasn't hardcore by March 3rd, but I'd started a little bit of low carbing earlier that year. Maybe, I don't think I did a January 1st kind of thing, but somewhere around there I started sort of doing it. Didn't get, got about 18 pounds, no, I guess that'd be 17 pounds off in the first couple months, so that's not bad. But really started hardcore keto March 3rd. Anyway, where was I going with this? So I do think the weight comes off because starting March 3rd, I started tracking my calories. The difference is, and the reason that it always disappoints me when people say it's just calories, is that for people who struggle, especially with carbs, or haven't found a thing that works for them, because frankly, if it works for you, do it. I am not advocating someone doing something that is helping them lose weight to switch to keto, because like if you're on paleo, low carb, Atkins, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, I just saw Oprah started advertising Weight Watchers, so go Oprah. God knows she's tried all kinds of things, so good for her, and everyone should find what works for them. And if And there are people who, especially, I think Oprah did it in this last ad, and I know other friends who have been very successful with Weight Watchers. They love that you can eat anything on Weight Watchers. There aren't restrictions. You just have to figure out, your points and fit within them, and points are basically, it's just a translation of calories, right? So, if you want cookies or whatever, you can have all those. The difference for me, and the thing I wish I could convey without seeming evangelistic, because again, I don't want to recruit anyone to keto. It's not like a cult. But if people have struggled with things I've struggled with, I wish I could share it with them without being dismissed, because I really think folks need to experience it. Or they have to be curious about it and see if they experience it for themselves, is that because my day doesn't have insulin spikes in it, I do a 23-1 intermittent fasting, which basically means you fast for 23 hours and then you eat during about an hour period. I'm not real strict with that. I mean, sometimes there's like a 4-hour period, or a lot of people do 16-8, fast for 16, and eat during 8-hour period. And I mean, that's probably the longest I've ever gone. Say I've got to have lunch with somebody, but then since I usually eat at dinner, I usually want something then. Or the reverse, like when I visit my parents, I often have 2 meals a day, so it's closer to a 16-8. Anyway, the point of that is that my insulin doesn't spike. Maybe a little bit, but and for me, that's why the calories works, is why I can stay within the calories, is because I don't crave carbs, which I think is brought on by the fact that people's insulin starts dropping and they're like, oh, I need to, ramp up, or they might think it's a carb craving, or that they, a craving they can't refuse, or they just must cheat on their diet, or whatever it is. But I really feel like most of that is that, hey, your insulin is dropping and your body just says, hey, how about Doritos, or whatever it says. Mine hangs out, and then I'm close to 0 carb, other than I aim for 0 carbs knowing that I get negligent carbs, like stray ones in eggs. There are stray carbs in the heavy whipping cream I put in my coffee. Not all that much, probably less than a teaspoon. There are negligent carbs out there, so I figure I'll eat as close to 0 carb as I can, and that way, the 1 or 2 that creeps in with cheese, or, all those things I just listed, they don't count. But that's the thing, is that, like my insulin might go, and I'm not even, it's not even a true fast. I probably consume up to 50 calories during between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Maybe up to 50 calories, what with a couple splashes of cream and coffee. I just figure it's probably fine. It's over an 8-hour period, so a couple cups of coffee and a couple teaspoons of heavy whipping cream over 8 hours, I think we're good with the insulin. And then for dinner, I generally eat meat and fat, and that's what I eat. So my insulin just doesn't spike. Especially, I've been doing keto now for at least 10 months, and so I'm pretty keto adapted, so heck, even when I eat carbs, I bet my insulin probably doesn't spike all that much, because my body's like, what are you doing? What? And by the time it catches on, it's over. Actually, I don't really know how that works, but the point is I rarely exit ketosis for long. I pop right back into it. I don't... And that's the thing, is because I'm so used to being on an even keel with my insulin response, I don't, even when I was on Atkins low carb, I usually went for low fat too, and I think the high fat is the key to why keto is successful for me, and the intermittent fasting, is because I don't want to eat things that are crazy. Like when I was in Atkins, if I did eat, either because it was a special occasion, eat carbs, or just I broke down and ate carbs. For one thing, I would occasionally want carbs. And I did the, who's extreme weight loss, extreme makeover weight loss edition, the couple, oh god, I can't believe I can't remember your names. I really like Chris and Heidi Powell. I did that for a while, and even that, like, you had a cheat day in there, and so I would do it for like a whole day, or, you know, Atkins, if I did it, if I ate one thing, I'd be like, well, I'm no longer, you know, in the low carb zone, and it'll take a week to recover anyway, so I may as well just eat all the carbs. And so the rest of the day would just be blown. And then sometimes, you know, I'd be like, well, I'm already out, so I may as well not get back into low carbness. And I would just keep at it for days, and sometimes I'd just gain a whole lot of weight back, and it would be months before I'd be like ready to try again. With keto, and I think, again, because of the high fat and the even keel and the intermittent fasting, like, if I have something, I will, you know, I can think back on each time I have eaten outside of keto foods, and each time was a special occasion, and each thing I ate was something I can't just go out and buy. I can't just go to the store and buy it. Each and every time. And oh my gosh, there is no other period in my life when I can say that is true. When I ate like rich sugary foods and can remember what they were or why I ate them. I would just eat a lot of them. I'm sure I can name some of them, but I wouldn't know when or why I ate them. I just know that I fed on them. But they weren't special. They weren't great. Like last year, 2015, I can look back and I can tell you about the 2 bites of lemon icebox pie that I had in, I'm trying to remember the name of the city. It's in Mississippi. I was on the Mississippi Blues Trail. And before we went, I looked up like specialty foods and that kind of thing in the area, which I always do. And that particular restaurant in that particular town might have been Clarksdale, but I don't think it was Clarksdale. I'm sure it wasn't Clarksdale. Anyway, the point is that I knew this restaurant was famous for it. I ate a ribeye for dinner. I did not eat any of my sides. And I had 2 pieces of that lemon icebox pie. And I know from reading research and stuff that people say that like it never tastes better than after like 1 bite is good. 2 bites, I mean, you want that second bite, right? But there you get no higher level of like, what is it, serotonin response after the second bite. So I no longer eat more than 2 bites of most treats. Not, I won't say always, but most of the time I can restrict myself to 2 bites because I know that that's the highest the serotonin's going to get. So I had 2 bites of lemon icebox pie and then gave it to the rest to my friend that I was traveling with. I ate a rainbow layer cake. Not even the whole piece, and it was a thin slice, but I ate a rainbow layer cake from a specialty bakery in Oxford, Mississippi, also on that trip. Didn't eat the whole piece of cake because I didn't need to. I accidentally got that cake because I thought it said sugar-free, and I thought, what? It turned out the brand was Sugary, like with 2 E's at the end. But by the time I'd seen the rainbow bright-looking cake, and I had to try it. You know what? Can't get that cake anywhere near me here in Oregon, and I do not regret eating that cake, and I'm especially proud of the fact that I didn't eat the whole cake. I tasted every layer, and I ate the frosting because that's my favorite part of cake, and I enjoyed the out of that cake, and I'm so glad I ate it, and I let myself enjoy it, and I had a ribeye that night. I was back on the plan. Ribeye, no sides. I had biscuits with mushroom gravy with a friend in June. And they were whole grain biscuits made right here in Portland at Bob's Red Mill with mushroom gravy. I don't eat pork, so I can rarely get biscuits with gravy anyway, but this place makes vegetarian gravy with, it's got some kind of like a soy sausage in it or something, and it's Bob's Red Mill, so it's like whole grain, awesome biscuits. And now the truth is that Bob's Red Mill is convenient to me, It's not really convenient to get there for me. I mean, I work. They're not open Sundays, I don't think. So I would have to go Saturday. They sell out of the biscuits and gravy. So you'd have to plan ahead, and I wouldn't plan ahead to eat like that. But I ate with a friend who was visiting, and I remember, and I really enjoyed those biscuits, and I'm so glad I ate them, but I don't need to have more of them. And I didn't even finish them, which I was shocked about. I even brought them home, and I was so sad that I didn't eat them, but not sad. Also really pleased with how my eating has changed. And it's changed because I eat high fat, so I'm not hungry, and I am now used to having a consistent insulin thing going on. And that is something I wish I could convey to folks who just dismiss it as a new way of allocating calories. Is it's not just that. There's also this whole other way that changes how much you want to eat, when you want to eat. I've never had a diet of any kind, even low carb, where they say you'll stop craving carbs. That was never true for me. I don't stop wanting carbs on keto, but I don't feel compelled to eat them. Like they don't overrule my logic. When I eat carbs, as I've just described, I eat them because I can't, it's a special time. Like someone is visiting from Boston, and we have those awesome, great biscuits and gravy. Or I'm in Mississippi, and I ate 2 things that I can't get outside of those places where I got them. On Christmas Eve, I had 2 pieces of, probably the size a little bit bigger than a quarter, of homemade fudge that my grandmother made. You can't just get grandma's fudge. And moreover, I had tried a piece of sugar-free fudge. I bought a piece because I'd been having this craving. I bought a piece like 2 weeks earlier. There's no point in getting sugar-free fudge. It does not taste like fudge. It is chocolate flavored. I don't know what the hell it is. It doesn't have the texture. It's not worth it. Have 2 pieces of grandma's fudge. But, God, that's all I needed. And that's because of keto. And I went right back on keto. I actually lost half a pound over the course of December 21st through whatever the Sunday was after that. I lost half a pound during like Christmas. And I ate prime rib with my dad, who also offered me rice, and I was able to turn it down. That's something different too, is that I've also done, work to just be able to stand up and advocate for what I want. And I no longer think of Dad, who I've always wanted to please and do just what he wants to do. I no longer think, oh, you know what? I could really make my dad happy by eating this food that he's prepared for me. This is actually a good excuse. Like, Dad will let me get away with eating sugar. Like, he could understand, because I've lost all this weight. If he saw me eating a bunch of sugar and just saying, hey, I've decided to, give myself some time off this diet, he'd be all for that. He'd be like, oh, eat my rice, and here's a donut, and here's some candy, and enjoy the heck out of it. And in the past, I would have glommed onto that, that, hey, I'm with somebody who actually would enjoy me being off my diet. And I would have glommed onto that as an excuse to be off my diet. This time, and in the past I would have been, number one, gone off the diet, but the whole time I would have been terrified that I wouldn't be able to get back on the diet. This time, too, because of keto and the way I eat and the way the insulin just kind of works out, I, number one, didn't want to go off the diet. Moreover, I knew that if I did go off the diet, I could get back on, because I knew I would want to get back on. And that has never been the case in the past. Never. No diet has ever been successful when I traveled, and now I travel all the time, and I have no concerns that I'm gonna get off the diet. In fact, if anything, I maintain my weight. Sometimes I also lose. Not much, usually, because I usually, again, don't do as much intermittent fasting, because often, I'm traveling with people or visiting people, and I try to sort of stick with their routines, even if I don't eat all that much. But anyway, just there's more. I usually have more calories, but I still stick with keto. And that's never been something I could do in the past. So that's the sort of thing I wish I could convey to people that says it's just about calories. The weight loss is about calories, but me sticking to the plan, that's about keto. That's about or high fat, or about intermittent fasting. Or just to sum it up, it's about keeping my insulin on an even level, which does not happen in all diets. Which is not to say there are plenty of people who can have those insulin spikes and they can still stick with it. In fact, having those insulin spikes and being able to enjoy the same foods that they've always enjoyed is important for them keeping on a track and a downward slope. And it totally works for them. And I think that is fantastic. But I do wish that people who have struggled like I have struggled in the past, who've run into some of these things where they're never able to stick to it, or they have this thing with carbs, I wish I could convey to them how good it feels to eat with an even keel, and to be confident in my own choices, that because of the way I eat, which makes me feel so good, I want to stick to it when I'm traveling. I want to learn to cook so that I can make the things. I want to get back on the diet when I go off the diet for really good reasons that I can remember. And that's, again, what a gift to be able to look back on 2015 and remember special things I ate. Like, plenty of people use eating something special or a special occasion as an excuse to eat poorly, but I bet they don't remember each thing they had that was super special. I remember each thing I had that was super special. I mean, maybe I can't list them all right this second, but if somebody said, hey, if they remember something, like, didn't you eat something when so-and-so visited? I'd be like, oh, that's right, I had, like, that homemade biscuit from wherever the hell it was. And that's special. I can remember the special foods, the special occasions that led to me eating those foods. And this Saturday, I'm going to a party called a sugar plum, I think it's called a sugar plum potluck or something. And I'm taking 2 things that I bought during the holidays that I wanted to taste, but I didn't want to eat all of. And I never opened them. And I thought someday when I was in the mood I would, and I never did. And again, having sugar in the house, never could have handled that in the past. Now I can have it in the house, and I always knew about it. I forgot about this stuff. And then the sugar plum potluck came up, and I was like, oh yeah, I've got that dark chocolate peppermint almond roca. I'll take that tin to the party, and then I can have one. And they're like 2 bites, so perfect. And then everyone else can enjoy them, and I won't have to eat anymore. So it's safe for me. But obviously it's been safe with me for months. And I could have eaten them at any time, but I'll know that I won't have to be tempted about that or think of an occasion to have them. It'll be one almond roca, and it'll be special, and I'll remember it. And I also got some dark chocolate covered coconut cashews. Not all that bad in the whole scheme of things, but I want to try a couple of them. And then the rest of them I will leave at the party. At the party, I expect there may be some homemade things that I cannot try any other time. And I will partake in them. I will have a couple of bites, or like if it's a cookie. And I will taste it, and I will enjoy out of it. And I will go back to my zero carb, intermittent fasting, high fat life the next day. And I know that. And to be confident in that, and to also be able to guilt-freely enjoy those carbs if they're special. Like if somebody, again, I'm bringing store-bought things, and if somebody were to bring just, say, like store-bought things, like, say, there's all those special Oreo flavors. If it ain't real special, homegirl I'm not gonna try it. What do I care? I could have bought those any time. But maybe somebody's made some special homemade cookie. I might try it if it's my kind of cookie. And I will enjoy out of it. Because I give myself permission to enjoy those things. And I can do that because I can trust myself to go back to keto. And I can say that with confidence because I like how that even keel makes me feel. And I still get to enjoy something special that doesn't come up very often. And I'll remember it. December 2016, I'll probably remember sugar plum potluck and some great thing I got to taste. And I can't say that about so many other Januaries, so many other years where I ate everything I wanted and I don't remember most of it. And so this is how I want to eat. This is awesome. The length of this video is not awesome. It's very long, but I figure you can turn it off anytime you want. So if you made it here, you wanted to. Damn it. And I hope you were doing something else with this in your background. Okay, I'm going. Wait, before I go. Oh, my hair. Do I look like a goat? How's it going?